Sam O'Reilly with a Fight Talk podcast in association with Round Date. Today we've got no Craig, he's off in Germany eating German sausages. James is in Spain doing whatever he's doing. So we've got Richie Gray, and back by popular demand, Kevin Smith, who's now created a little fan base. Kev, it's like 2 people know your name now.
It's amazing, isn't it, mate? It's amazing. two more than know yours, isn't it, mate?
Richie knows me, that's all I need. How are you, Rich?
Yeah, I'm alright. Sam gave me a t-shirt to shout at my mate. Got one of these big Fight Talk t-shirts. He's alright in my book.
Yeah, I still ain't got mine. Have a word.
Yeah, well, you got to pay for yours.
I don't think they make them big enough for me, do they?
It's like a tent, Fight Talk tent.
What I need is a matching hat though, mate.
Yeah, I will get you one of those, and I'll sign it for you as well, Rich.
Sign it. I want to be able to wear it. If you sign it, I'm gonna have to put it on the shelf in like a box, and with a picture of you and me.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that'd be well romantic. That would. It'd be lovely to come round.
That'd be nice. That.
All
we
right.
can come round and play PlayStation.
Yeah, that's it. Look,
Wear each other's. You wear my t-shirt and I'll wear yours.
you took the piss, mate. You gave me one that was small. I can barely get it over my left tit.
Oh, I'll get you another one that don't fit.
Yeah.
I'm getting jealous of this bromance, lads. I'm telling you.
Sorry,
You want a
Kev.
t-shirt?
If you can make it big enough, yeah.
All right.
We'll see what we can find.
Let's start with, as I've just told you boys 5 minutes ago, breaking news has just come out. Dan Raphael actually tweeted it, that Shannon Briggs has failed a drug test. So I'm guessing that he ain't going to be able to fight for the regular WBA title against Quendo next month like he was due to. Although nothing surprises me with these governing bodies, they might just let him off or something, who knows. But Richie, what's your immediate thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, it's mad. Do you know what? I didn't think he'd be doing like that. I didn't think he'd be doing drugs. Like I said a minute ago, he runs around saying "Let's go champ" a lot. I thought, I don't know if you can run about saying things like that and then go and do drugs. But I suppose crazy things have happened in the world, and he's kind of done it. So, but yeah, at his age, he wants to compete with people. I suppose he's doing whatever he feels he's got to do, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a sad state. It's true though. If he's still involved in this sport where most people are 15, 20 years younger than him, he's obviously felt that he's got to do something. Yeah, Kev, what about you, mate?
As I said, look at his body. He's 54, as you said. He ain't a normal 54-year-old, is he? Let's have it right.
Throw that comment back in there, Sam.
He looks about 25, doesn't he, his body, and then you see his head and you think, Jesus. It looks like it's been screwed on, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm gutted for him and gutted for boxing, really. It's just not what you want to hear, is it? So...
No, it's not
Might
something.
be better for his life anyway.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, the problem is he's been chasing people for 3 or 4 years. He had the Klitschko situation where he was chasing him around his fucking holiday home and stuff, and then he was in London doing it to anyone with a.
That was brilliant, though. That was brilliant. The one where he's in the lake and he goes around him on his speedboat.
Yeah, he falls off. Brilliant, isn't it? How angry was Klitschko?
I love that.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
And then.
That's what he made me warm up to Briggs, that.
Do you remember he went to the restaurant as well, and he pulled Klitschko's bowl over and said, "What you eat, I eat, champ." Klitschko poured some water on him.
You got to be on drugs just to do that, surely. There we go.
You said it, mate. I don't know. I'd like a bit of common sense to have. I don't think it was ever world title worthy anyway. I don't see the need for a regular and a super title at any weight. There's enough governing bodies. We don't need to be making 2 world titles in one governing body. It pisses me off as it is. So hopefully there's
I agree with that, yeah.
common sense, and they don't need to remake the fight. But they'll probably stick Ustinov in against Quendo or something stupid. But who knows?
What's this? I heard recently that Fury's had trouble as well. Again.
Yeah, I heard they've obviously at the moment they were sorting out the UCAD. They were sort of coming to, and it was coming to an end, and apparently it's been pushed back. The problem with what you've got is Tyson Fury is treated worse than anyone else in boxing, in my opinion, and that's.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand. He's done things and said things and so on, but he's trying to get his life right, and it feels to me like he's not being allowed to. He's being held back for for whatever reason. So I think they just need to
I
get
think
this.
the media make him sound worse than he really is. I don't think they make him sound like a monster. Some of the stuff, he'll say something out of context and they'll tear him to pieces for it.
Yeah. But
it's not as bad as people think. I think he wants to entertain people.
Yeah, the media have been on a witch hunt for him for a long, long time. He never ever got the props he deserved for what he did in Germany when he beat Klitschko.
Do you know what? A lot of people say to me about Anthony Joshua and Fury and their fights with Klitschko. And people say Joshua smashed Fury to pieces. And I'll say, I'm not calling who I think would win the fight, and everyone says Klitschko weren't himself that night, but think of this. Joshua boxed Klitschko, had a tough battle. He went down, Klitschko went down, there was blood everywhere, it was a battle. When Fury boxed, he barely even got hit and won a point decision away from home. And everyone gives Fury a hard time. I'm not saying that Fury would beat Joshua. All I'm saying is that he made it an easy night's work and Joshua didn't.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, it was his style that Klitschko just couldn't get anywhere near him, could he? You know, and he made that fight. It was a boring fight. It was, you know, it wasn't a Joshua Klitschko, you know, backwards and forwards. But listen, he got the W on his record, and that's all that counts, isn't it? It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win. You know, Klitschko's been doing it for years, isn't he? Boring people and winning. No one ever had a pop at him about it. But to be fair, he went over there. He beat Klitschko up. He beat him up. He roughed him up. He beat him up. He made Klitschko play his game and beat him. It's as simple as that. And beat him comfortably as well.
Yeah, I mean, people say stuff like, "Oh, he weren't himself that night." That's not fair to say, because for years and years and years, you think he was had the best night of his life every single time. He has. He's had plenty of off nights and still won the fight. So people can't say it's not fair for him to say that Fury only won because it was an off night, because he's telling me he hasn't had an off night in all them years he's been champion. That's not fair. I think people just like to hate on Fury a little bit.
Definitely, they do. And you know what's another great example of that? They took his IBF before he relinquished his titles. They took his IBF title off him, right? Because he couldn't fulfill a mandatory. Now this was a belt that Klitschko had looked after for years and years, doing his mandatories for WBAs and all that other stuff, and was allowed to do it. But the second it was on Fury. Now are they going to do the same to Joshua? I'm hearing Joshua's fighting Klitschko in a rematch. So by their own rules, they've got to take his IBF title. But I guarantee they fucking don't.
No, they won't. 100% they won't. So, listen, Tyson Fury, he is not what the border control or the governors of the IBF or whatever it is want to be representing them, is he? That's the truth of it.
That is
his beliefs and whatever else. He's not the face of world boxing, is he? Joshua is. Joshua will get leeway. You know, where Tyson Fury, as soon as he steps out of line, that's it. Give us your belt back. That's what he gets. And it's sad. It's sad, really.
It's so true, but it is savage, and you've got to feel a bit sorry for Fury for it. But they can't take away from him. He's already been champion now. Like he said, it doesn't matter. You can take him all you want. I'm still champ.
I just want to see him get fit. I want to see him get fit. I want to see him shift that. He's got a lot of weight to lose, man. I'm talking 8 stone or something.
I reckon he's down 5 though, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I heard realistically in that camp he's been training for already 3-4 weeks, and he's done probably 2 stone. But it starts to slow down after a while. It shocks your body at first. So I just hope he can get down to fight. I mean, I watched the clip the other day of when he was rapping the night before the Klitschko fight, and he was standing there with his top off, and he looked tremendous shape, man. Like tremendous shape. So I hope he can get back to that. I really do. Just to put it, there's some massive fights out there for him if he can get fit, and hopefully they'll sign him back off. UCAD will get their finger out their arse and just. It's been a long time now they've been fucking around with this.
Yeah, there's a bit going on in the heavyweight division now, isn't there? There is a bit going on, which is nice to see.
Yep, definitely.
Exciting times, and I want him to be in the mix of it. I really do. I think he's as good as any of them, and I like Tyson Fury. I'm a Tyson Fury fan, and yeah, I'd love to see him right in the mix. I reckon he gives Joshua a hell of a time. I really do. I'm not going to sit here and say he wins, but I think he gives Joshua a torrid time. I really do.
I agree with you. I think the problem why he's not getting as much credit as the other boys at that stage at the moment is because they're mostly just big punchers, whereas he's not got his success through power. He hasn't got there through power, so I don't know why they expect him to be knocking people out like that. He got there because he's awkward and slippery and big and tall. got long arms, and that's what he does, makes it hard for people. So I don't know why he's just going to do to them what he does to everyone else. They can say all they want that he's not as good as them, but until someone's beaten, he is as good as them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It feels like it's a dirty thing to say, but I really like Klitschko. I really like Fury, and I really like Joshua. I think they bring different things, and I don't understand why you can't enjoy what both of them do. Do you know what I mean? So
they can make such a big fight. They can make a big fight.
Yeah.
They can make a nice fight. That.
I'm sure that will happen. Money talks, man. And listen, Mayweather McGregor's about to get made, and so on, just because of money.
That's
so
ridiculous.
yeah.
That's a joke.
We're gonna do a big piece on that in a couple of weeks, man. I'm gonna do, but yeah, the fight's ridiculous.
Do you know what? For me, I just think really, I can't believe people are even giving it time to talk about it. Someone first said to me, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. I was like, oh, you're funny. That was it. I can't. Come on. It's all right. Yeah, Conor McGregor can fight in the cage, and Floyd Mayweather would get smashed to pieces in the cage. But in a boxing ring, it's not the same.
It's a bit like you and me having a boxing match. You know, you're gonna destroy me, but as soon as we play a bit of pool or snooker, you're in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, cameras go off.
The cameras go. Yeah, that's it. Things go out in my favour, mate.
Have you seen this video of what he done? I beat him twice, but only one on video is the one that he won.
There's no proof of that, Richie, mate.
No proof. No proof.
That sounds like Sam. I used to play a bit of pool league with him, mate. I know exactly what he's like.
We should do a bit of sparring and be like, winner takes all.
Yeah, alright, I'll just fucking edit it. I'll land one punch, you'll land 600, and I'll just edit my one punch.
Have you seen this fight? You probably beat me anyway.
Let's move on to last night's Gervonta Davis Liam Walsh card. There was I thought it was a good card. Kev, you weren't impressed, were you? You said to me earlier what a load of shit that was.
Oh mate, I was talking more about the main event, if I'm honest.
Right.
The card itself was okay. I think there was a couple of decent fights on it. The fight that stood out for me was Joe Pigford versus Aaron Morgan.
Yeah.
That was, for me, that was a cracker. But yeah, the rest of them were pretty average. I thought Ryan Walsh, you know, Sam, I'm a big Ryan Walsh fan. I've met him once on the tube. So me and him are best friends, as you know. Yeah, I thought he'd done well. I thought, the Marco McCulloch work wasn't that great, but I thought Joe Pigford, Aaron Morgan was great, but the rest of it was what you would expect, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what the thing with Frank Warren's cards are? Like, there was a lot of people that didn't make television that I really like. You had Lucian Reed, Mitchell Smith, Lerone Richards. All these are good prospects who didn't even make the television. So it's like to try and sell tickets to these shows, they've got to put everyone they've got on them, and it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to see how them Boy Jones Jr. as well. He came back, and none of them made it to television because they knew they were ticket sellers, so they had to be on the show, but they don't even get the airtime. It's a bit of a sad thing, man. That I just think Frank Warren's shows don't have. Not only do they not have the appeal to the casuals that Matchroom shows do, they still, in my opinion, lack a massive star. The biggest star they've had fight this year wasn't their own fighter, and that was Gervonta Davis, and that's the truth of it. Yep,
100%. Listen, I don't know how what they can do to start them earlier or whatever, or fit them. One thing that frustrates me is the commentators and the guests on it, mate. Steve Bunce. I've said it before about him. He's just 20 years too. He should have retired 20 years ago. His views, his comments. I just think he's a bit of a donkey, if I'm honest. I just think he needs to. No, listen, I've said it before, mate. I don't know what it is about him, but he just frustrates the life out of me. He's always disagreeing with everyone else. I don't know if he's just put on there to be a bit of a clown, but. I just, you look at Sky and the people they've got on there, they're all current, they're all ex-boxers or they're, whatever it is, and then you've got Steve Bunce and he talks for ages. They could have probably had 2 or 3 extra fights on the TV card, do you know what I mean? That's when I go and make my cup of tea, do you know, when he starts talking, because I know when I get back he'll still be talking.
I still prefer him to Richie Woodall. I can't have Richie Woodall. I can't. He's got a little book of cliches that he's supposed to rattle out, and he'll do them every single fight. I don't know. I can't stand him. And that Skeletor-looking geezer that walks around interviewing people. What's his name? Ronald McDonald? No, Ronald McIntosh. That geezer. I can't have him. I can't have him. So yeah, there's definitely something missing.
If you two just come on here to be oral to people, I ain't going to be no part of this.
This is a truthful podcast.
Yeah. Mate, have you?
I do agree. I think sometimes they should have more boxers on there, though. I think people, some of the casual fans don't even know who these people are that are talking.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's nice to have a boxer on there, and they can go, I know this guy, or he's, it's more for them to someone they know. Do you know what I mean? Get to know more fighters. It might help the fighters that don't sell tickets. That might help them sell tickets.
I think they just need someone more current, don't they? I think that's it. All the old boys know who Steve Bunce is, but all the young people and as Sam puts it, the casuals, they ain't got a clue, have they? So
yeah.
Let's
I know what you mean. Yeah.
let's look who's on it. Daniel Dubois knocked over David Howe. I mean, it's you got to keep your feet on the ground with him. Some people are going mad on him already. Do you know what I mean? He's 3 fights in, and although he looks like a man mountain, he's still a 19-year-old kid, really, isn't he?
Who's that? Sorry.
Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, the big old heavyweight who keeps knocking people over.
I think I've seen. Where's he trained?
He's down in Peacocks, I think.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, I've been down there when he's in training.
He's a unit, isn't he? But
yeah, he's massive. He's a giant. I was going to spar him, but I was a bit big for him. So. he didn't fancy it that day.
He didn't fancy it. No.
Yeah. But he's the equivalent of Eddie Hearn's Joshua, isn't he? I think that's what they're trying to bill him as.
Yeah.
He's knocking everyone over first round, second round. I know he's only had 3 fights, but you got to start somewhere, ain't you? But he does look an absolute animal, doesn't he?
He's got criticised in a couple of fights ago for the opponent as well.
Did you see the opponent, mate?
The debut.
He looked like me walking into the ring.
I get that, but you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere.
And to be fair, he was a late. He was a late replacement.
It was,
as well,
yeah. It was supposed to be David Howe.
You can't knock it too much.
Yeah, no, it was.
Especially not to his face, because he's really big.
Yeah. But listen, all you can do is beat what's in front of you, can't you? Regardless, so. And he seems to be doing that with ease at the moment. So, but David Howe was a step up.
Yeah, no one gets in the ring to get knocked out. So to stop anyone, it's always stoppage at the end of the day. Even if they're not very good, no one gets in the ring thinking, right, tonight I'm getting knocked out. They don't fancy it. So beating these guys, knocking them out's another thing. So he's knocking them out. He does some good, isn't it?
Yeah, a few people were saying that David Howe went down easily. Do you know what? It wasn't the biggest, most concussive shot that hit him, but I think he was like, you know what, fuck this. He took was it 30 seconds, Kev? 40 seconds?
Yeah, 40 seconds, yeah, that was it.
I think he took a couple of shots and was like, nah, mate, not having this.
But it wasn't. It didn't look like a big shot. Listen, if I was on the other end of it, I might have gone down as well and just gone out, I've had enough. But it didn't look like a big shot on telly. But listen, if it's big, if it dropped the geezer, you can't. David Howe is a warrior as well. He took some big shots off of the Rhino, didn't he? So, but
he hasn't boxed all idiots. He hasn't boxed all idiots though. Like these guys have winning records. Everyone he's beat.
The 3 of them.
Yeah.
The 3 of them. Yeah, the 3 of them he's fought have had winning records.
They've all had winning records. So he's beat it. It's not like he's getting boys that are coming in with 2 wins and 13 losses. He's got winning records.
No, it's good. It's good matchmaking.
He looks like a unit, doesn't he? So he's a big boy, that's for sure. And I think if you're that big and you've got power, and to be fair, he looks like, I know we haven't seen that much of him, but he looks like he's got a decent boxing. He's got decent boxing ability. He's got a good boxing brain. He's got quick hands for a big lad. He looks all right. I think the next 5 fights will tell us more, but I think he looks decent. I really do. Yeah,
he's good. He's nice big lad. Because he's only young, he probably will grow more into his strength as well. He's only 19. By the time he's 23 or 24, 25, he's just going to be getting stronger, isn't
he? Yeah, definitely a prospect, man. Another big old unit, but not quite as tall. Anthony Yard beat Chris Hobbs to become the Southern Area light heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he's doing things, isn't he?
That was a decimation, man. Like, I think Hobbs was down 6 times. And I was tweeting, listen, the ref or someone's got to stop it, because it was at the point. We know Hobbs is in the army, man. He's a serving, proud man. He's an army guy. You know what I mean? You ain't going to stop him unless you cut his legs off or something. He was always going to keep getting up. And eventually his corner did the right thing and threw the towel in. But, Richie, let me start with you. Anthony Yard, is he the real deal that a lot of people think he is? Or is he sort of a bit overhyped and he's still yet to prove who he is?
I think it's still early. It's early to say that he'll be a world champion or anything like that. It's a bit early for that, because he's no doubt he can hit. There's no doubt he can hit. No one, like I said earlier, no one gets in the ring to get knocked out, and he's knocked out 10 of his 11 opponents or stopped them. So you can't argue much with that. But when he can't land shots, if someone's too slippery for him, or someone starts landing big shots back, well, it's slow him up. It's just a bit early to tell, really. But you can't really say it's his fault, because he's just going to do what he's going to do, isn't he? If they go down, it's not his fault. He's probably more frustrated than anyone, thinking, I want to get some rounds in, and people keep hitting the floor. So he looks the part at the minute. But let's see what happens when he gets hit back. I mean, he's not boxed too many contenders. The last guy was the best contender, I suppose.
Yeah. Was it
on his card? But
it's one of them, isn't it?
It still stops him, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult because like I said, I saw Chris Hobbs win the title in York Hall a couple of months ago, and I knew how tough he was as a man. Like, you know, boxing ability slightly more limited. You know, that's the truth of it. But it was always going to be game, and he just kept coming. And Yard was picking his shots, and every shot.
I think he needs a bit of power to keep him off, though. And he hasn't got the power. I don't think he would have had the power to keep him off. When Yard knows he probably knows he's a puncher. So sometimes when you're hitting someone and you can see you're affecting them, and they're hitting you, and you think, that's not too bad. You think, well, even if you could outbox him, you might think, well, I might as well trade with him, because I can hurt him and he can't hurt me. Yeah. So Yard really had nothing to lose there going into the fight. He's not really got any knockouts, and he's got all the knockouts. So he could have pretty much sort of, in his mind, could have done what he wanted, you know.
Yeah, Kev, what do you think of Anthony Yard?
Yeah, well, I agree with Richie there. You know, Chris Hobbs hit him a couple of times in the first round, and Yard just smiled. I saw his gum shield times, and I saw his right hand. If I'm honest with you, he was just laughing and smiling all the way through it. But I think when Chris did land a few of his bigger shots, I think I just lapped it up and thought, this is great. I can actually take a risk here, drop my gloves a little bit, throw to the body, then throw to the head if I need to. But he didn't need to. The body shots were absolutely spiteful. Spiteful. I haven't seen body shots like that since maybe Ricky Hatton. He put boxers like that. Real spiteful, right, getting into the rib cage, getting in under the, just really spiteful. And for me, Yard, he looks phenomenal. I would say that, and I don't use that word very often, but I think truth will be told over the next sort of 4 or 5 fights, I think, again. But yeah, he looks like he's got all the tools to be definitely British, European, world. We'll find out.
I don't think we'll find out yet. I don't think we'll find out how good he is until he gets. I think he'll cruise through. He's just won the Southern Air. I think he'll cruise through the English. I think. Let's see what's happening at British, but it'll be. I think the British is probably harder than European titles to win.
Yeah.
We'll probably find out British, and then he'll float past the European.
Well, you
if
two
if he wins the British, he's there or thereabouts.
You've hit the nail on the head, because he's not going to go for English or British. He's fighting on the 8th of July on the Billy Joe Saunders undercard against a guy called Richie Baragni, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And he's 18-1 Hungarian, and he's gonna. It will get him a top 10 ranking with the WBO. So, he's going to pick up a WBO European or one of these sort of crazy. But I don't think he's going to wait around. I don't think they're going to hang around with him.
There's not, in my mind, between just on the Southern area, there's not a massive step from Southern area to the English. Most of the boys that win the Southern area will get a chance at winning the English or fighting for the English.
Yeah.
There's not much of a step between that. Not saying that. I just think it's one of the hardest area titles to win of the area titles. Most of the Southern area champions go on to fight for the English, and then there is a massive, massive step to the British. Though, if anything, you probably can win a European title easier than a British, depending on obviously what one you go for. But
Yeah, and I mean, no surprise that Frank Warren's sending one of his fighters the WBO route. It's clearly the organisation. Eddie's got the IBF and WBA, and I think WBO is him and Warren have a really good relationship, so it doesn't surprise me. Listen, he might be fighting for their world title in 3 or 4 fights at this rate. You don't know, do you? But whether it's too soon or not, I still think we need Anthony Yarde to get hit on the chin and see how he reacts to getting hit by someone.
100%.
But I'm with you. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a world champion in the making. No doubt in my mind that he'll be a world champion.
But also rushing him, and I think Warren does. I think if someone looks good, Warren hasn't got enough talent or enough people, so he's going to rush him up, and push him into a fight that may be a 50-50 too early, or because he needs to. I don't think he has the capability of British and English and European anymore. I think he's got to rush these people to get them on big shows and get money in, because obviously Sky have taken over, haven't they? So
yeah. I had this conversation. I was at the press conference on Thursday, and I had this conversation with Terry, the Seven Wolves Boxing. I don't know if you boys know him. Top man in boxing. Loads of people. Great boxing coach. And he's known Anthony Yarde since he was an amateur, knocking people over. And he said he knew he was special then. And you look at Warren. Warren has, in my mind, 2 potential massive stars in Dubois and Anthony Yarde. And they could be, any promoter in the world would take those 2 at this point, I'd imagine. So he needs to throw big money at those 2 and get them in big fights and get the eyes on them now, because they're going to make.
There's a new thing. ITV are going to start putting shows on as well, aren't they?
Well, they've done a couple, wouldn't they?
So with that, some boxers might go that way now anyway. Obviously, the attraction with obviously Eddie Hearn's the man. He's got all the big shows, but Frank Warren's still second behind him. But now ITV having this thing, that's another competitor for Frank Warren, which might cause him more problems. See, if ITV offer you a show and Frank Warren offer you a show, if more people are going to see the ITV show, if it's on Box Nation, not everyone's got Box Nation anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
That might cause him problems.
Yeah, it has to be the BT Sports shows that he's getting the guys on, because they obviously have a lot of viewership. But I don't know. I don't know how good their numbers are. Last night for me was a decent card, but it still felt like it wasn't a massive event. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what's missing. I still can't get my head around what does he have to do to make these massive events like Eddie Hearn seems to be able to do. Having a massive star might help, but I don't know. There's just a disconnect. What about the main event? Let's move on to Gervonta Davis and Liam Walsh. Kev, you told me, you liked Walsh. You've known about him for a long time.
Yeah, listen, I've seen the Walsh brothers on a number of occasions live. I've seen them from when they were, having only 3 fights up to probably 10, 11, 12, up to 15, and I really, really liked them. But there's levels, isn't there? And I think Ryan's got to his level. He went for a European and lost narrowly. Liam, it was I was praying if there's anyone up there, let Liam win. But in my heart, in my head, I knew Gervonta Davis was a step above. And just to throw it out there, I did say, I don't think he'll last 2 or 3 rounds, so I'm pretty decent there, aren't I? But yeah, I wanted him to win, but my prediction was right. But Gervonta Davis looks like he's a superstar, isn't he? He is. His last 2 fights, he's just looked phenomenal, hasn't he? And they've been step-ups against undefeated guys, and he's got everything, hasn't he? He's got power, he's got speed, he's got footwork, he's got everything. But again, let's see when someone lands on him. Let's get him in with somebody who's actually going to throw back. That was my biggest frustration with Liam Walsh. He got in the ring all confident and a bit cocky even, sitting there watching his brothers fight before his, and, stuff like that. It shows a bit of confidence. But then he was like a scared rabbit running around, wasn't he? Trying to run away and throwing lazy jabs and stuff like that. He just looked out of his depth. And yeah, it hurts me to say that a little bit, but Gervonta Davis just looked amazing, absolutely amazing.
Richie?
Yeah, I think it's class. Like, I've only watched, I think I've watched 2 of these fights, or highlights of these fights, on these fights. He's class. He's obviously a step above Liam, and it's a shame, obviously, everyone would have wanted Walsh to win yesterday, but just too good. Just too good for him, just too class. He's knocking everyone out as well. What's he got? 16 knockouts?
I think it might be more than that. It's, yeah...
17 out of 18, I think.
Yeah, unreal. At 22 years old as well.
Yeah, I know that he's young, he's knocking people out, he's fast. See, like we were speaking earlier, when you're only so young, there's still so much time to grow as well. Like, he's 22 years old, he's had 18 fights. By the time he's 25, he could have had another 6, you know. He's so young, he's got so much time in front of him as well that you never know how far. He's already ranked number 9 as well, and he's ranked number 9 on like box rec and things like that.
Yeah, I think he kind of got the world title shot against Pedraza that, you know, I think Pedraza was past his best. So it was kind of an Anthony Joshua situation, I think. He got the world title before he was really, you know, deserving of it. You know what I mean?
Still an undefeated Pedraza, though.
Yeah, it's fair.
100%.
Old or not, he's still undefeated.
And I think he was struggling to make the weight.
Up until that point, he hadn't boxed people really much of a big level. There was about two people in there, but he massively proved it. He's got 2 contenders there, 2 undefeated contenders. Like you say, off the spin, knocked them both out, or stopped them both, and looked class doing it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's definitely the real deal. I mean, in his division, to be fair to him, there's big names in the division for him to beat. Like Lemchenko, he's the man, isn't he? He's the man at the minute. I don't know if he's just because he's the man or because he's done it so soon in his career. He's had 9 fights. He's boxed for 7 world titles. So
it's unheard of, isn't it? He is amazing.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. There's no one else really to talk about in the division. When someone's doing something like that, it's hard to upstage someone like that. Davis, now I think he's been here, people want to watch more of him. Not only is he winning fights, he's knocking people out, and people want to see knockouts, and he brings knockouts and excitement. So maybe one day I wouldn't put Davis in with Funny enough, he's had more fights than Lemchenko, but I wouldn't put Davis in with Lemchenko yet.
Well, Lomachenko had 340 pro fights or something. Amateur fights, obviously.
I think that should be a fight. They should both of them should talk about, build up, make something massive out of it.
Yeah, it's got to be 2 or 3 years away, isn't it?
I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens because Lomachenko is going to have. I reckon he'll have one more fighter this way, and that's going to be against Salido because he wants to rectify the loss. He lost in his second fight, didn't he, in a split?
Yeah.
And then I think lightweight is where the money fights are. Mikey Garcia's, the Linares. I know Linares is probably going to fight Luke Campbell because he loves Eddie Hearn's money, but you know, I don't think the fight happens. I don't think it needs to happen, to be honest, because I think they're kind of on different paths. Although they're both, you know, really well fought. I want to see Tevin Farmer get his shot against Gervonta Davis. I think that's an amazing fight. Craig Scott put me onto both of these guys. He even did an article on Tevin Farmer, and that's the guy that started off with I think his record was like 1-7, lost 6 or 5, something like that, and he's turned it around, and he's genuinely world class, and he's amazing to watch. So that's a fight I want to see next. Who else? Let's move on to the news. O'Hara Davis and Josh Taylor is booked, signed, sealed, delivered. I was shocked when it got made. It's been made for Scotland on a Cyclone promotion show on the 8th of July. Is this a sign, Richie, that maybe Eddie's money isn't as big as, you know, for someone like Cyclone who don't have as many big fighters? They've obviously thrown a lot of money at this fight to get it. So was you as surprised as me that O'Hara Taylor happens in Scotland?
Well, I don't know if I'm surprised with it. I think maybe because there was a show there recently, wasn't there? Is it the same venue?
I don't know if it's the same venue. It might be.
Because if that's done really well, they might think, you know what, why not? And some boxers like to move about and try the venue, so perhaps that might be why. I don't know if it's a big deal that it's going to be in Scotland and not anywhere else. I don't know if that.
I mean, for me, it's more that it's a Cyclone show. That's what surprised me more. That they ended up outbidding Eddie, because Eddie put out the emails that he'd offered 70 grand for them to fight, for Josh Taylor to fight here at the O2 on the 1st of July, and they wanted more than 70 grand. And it turns out So Cyclone have offered more money for O'Hara to fight on their show.
For the same day?
It's a week later. A week later. Yeah. So the 8th of July is when the fight's going to happen, rather than the 1st when Matchroom's O2 show.
I wonder why that's happened then. Yeah, I can't really answer that.
Yeah, Kev, what about you, mate?
Listen, O'Hara's he's a talented guy, isn't he? But so's Taylor. But for me, I think it could be good business by Eddie Hearn letting him go to Scotland if he wins.
He might pick up more support there as well.
If he goes there and destroy, which I'm not sure will happen, because I think Taylor's a great fighter as well. Listen, it's mouth-watering for me. I think it's two guys, great boxing ability, both got massive power. It's a great fight. But if O'Hara does go there and wins in style, it could be a great bit of business from Eddie Hearn, because the next O'Hara show will be huge, wouldn't it?
That would step him up. Beating Josh Taylor would step him up. Like, that would be a great name for him to have on his record.
I know.
I know.
Beating
Derry Matthews was a nice one to have, but to have Josh Taylor straight after it would look very good for him, because some people have obviously they do, didn't they? Oh, what's he about? And then you beat a couple of people like this straight on the bounce, it will really put him up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been easy to avoid him as well, because I'm surprised it's made so early. I'll be honest. I think both of these guys are that good. They're going to go and be massive contenders. So I thought they would let the fight marinate for a couple of years, and then, maybe one of them have some sort of title to make. But obviously they've decided this is the right time, and the money's right for both of them now. So it's a great fight. It's not like an all or nothing fight either, because both guys are that young that the loser will come back and have learnt massively from the fight. But yeah, it's definitely a mouth-watering fight. I know guys that have sparred both of them. And I've heard great things about Josh Taylor, that he is the real deal. And O'Hara, everyone knows how good O'Hara is, you know what I mean? So it's a superb fight. I'm really really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sam. It shocked me that it's come this early. 100%. I thought it was, they were both gearing up for a fight maybe next year. It shocked me that it's come this early when it's kind of a bit of a nothing fight, because there's no titles or anything like that. But yeah, one for the spectators.
Yeah, I felt like it could have been made a bigger deal, couldn't it? It could have been made a bigger deal with like even a minor title on it, just to give it more bit of juice in there. But
well, it still could. Is Josh Commonwealth champion? As far as
Josh Taylor's Commonwealth champion.
Yeah, and O'Hara's got a WBC silver. So again, they're not major titles. Let's be honest about it. But there's a little bit in there. But I just really thought this could have been this is going to be a Channel 5 show on the same night as that Billy Joe Saunders Copper Box show against Kurt Siedze. So there's competition for it on the night, and it's Channel 5. They're not, as far as I'm aware, they've never done massive numbers for boxing. Listen, time will tell, but it's a show. It's a sign from Cyclone that they're serious, and they've put up a lot of money to get this fight. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, fair play to them. Fair play to them.
Definitely.
Do you know anything about the undercard for the show?
No. I'd imagine it'll be all Cyclone guys.
Richie, you throwing your hat in?
Well, no. I don't know if I'll be ready by then anyway, because I've been injured.
Oh.
When is it?
8th of July, that is. The MTK show is 22nd.
No, I won't be in July. Definitely not.
Well, we can talk about the one after that.
Well, if they've put so much money into these two fighters, there might be more to add to it yet anyway. The show to make it real something, because they've obviously put a lot of money into both of them to make the fight happen. So you're not going to throw all that money into it and then have just one good fight and then no one really be interested in the show and not make it back. So they might be putting a big undercard on it as well.
Maybe. What Cyclone have done before, I went to their show in November when George Groves had that fight with Edward Gertnecht. Obviously he still hasn't recovered from the fight, and that was last November. But what they did, they had a lot of local fighters on it. They were Goodwin boys. Dan Keenan and Dino Richardson, two big ticket sellers from the area. So they may do the same in Scotland. They may have young Scottish prospects who can sell a ticket. and get a real good atmosphere going on the night, and bring it to the TV audience with a great atmosphere. Make more people tune in further down the line. We'll see. Let's talk about probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in a boxing ring last night. The Dirrell fight against, I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name. Kev, have a go for me, we are.
I ain't got a clue. Crack on, mate. The guy anyway. So he's fighting the geezer, and after the bell, the guy lands a shot, and it looked like a fairly decent shot, but I don't think it was enough to knock him clean out. And Dirrell definitely looked like he made the most of it. At one point, you can hear on the camera his corner telling him to go back down, which it goes against everything a boxer's supposed to be. The worry, how many boxers want to get up when they're fucked, and this guy didn't look fucked and wanted to go down. It was strange to see. And then after that, his uncle came and, without obviously no gloves on, came into the corner and landed a left hook on the fighter. And it's honestly, have you seen it yet, Richie?
Yeah, I've seen that. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a bit harsh. The disqualification was a bit harsh. Personally, I think that was a bit harsh. I think he'd thrown the first shot and the bell had gone. In the video I watched, the bell would come at the time he's thrown the shot. So sometimes when you're already emotional, there's not much you can do. Admittedly, followed up with other shots, but I think it was borderline on the bell. But obviously the last couple were after the bell, which is a bit harsh to disqualify him. That happens. The uncle getting in and punching him in the face is absolutely stabbing. He shouldn't be allowed around the ringside ever again, or he should get some sort of punishment for that. That's awful. No one wants to see that, but disqualifying the fighter was a bit harsh. I think maybe anything, I don't know. Someone asked me earlier, will they overturn the decision if they've looked back? The chances are they won't do anything like that, but they should maybe have a rematch, because the fight was not supposed to end the way it ended. It was unfair for everyone, really. It was taken away from everyone. And I think the disqualification was a bit harsh, but Dirrell's uncle, he's way out of line for doing what he did. He must know that. He'd be pissed if that was one of your lot and someone had done it to. But if you was fighting and one of your team got in and punched your opponent, I suppose he wouldn't want to win like that either. What's he going to wake up and they're going to say you've won?
Yeah.
Where am I? Have I won? Yeah, you have actually. Funny enough.
I don't know. I don't even think he was out, mate. I think he was looking through.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. I think he was just, he was looking through gloves. I think, is it going to be called off? Am I going to win? That kind of thing. Yeah, it's not what you want to see in a boxing ring, especially you've trained all that time. You want to make a statement. You're going to fight for a world title after, and for it to end like that, and I don't think he was knocked out. I don't think he was. I think he could have got, 5 minute, stand it, to walk around and all that stuff. I think that's what you get, isn't it? For a punch after the bell or a low blow, you get the same kind of thing. He could have had 5 minutes and come back in and made a statement. But yeah, for his uncle to do that, he should be arrested, shouldn't he? If I'm in a pub and someone chins me and I chin someone in a pub, I get arrested, don't I? So I don't think it makes any difference, does it? You should be arrested and probably fined or prison, really.
Yeah,
he should get some sort of punishment from the board as well. They should do something about it as well. It was savage, and yeah, he shouldn't get away with it. But he did, when he went down from the shot. I've just watched it back actually. He did hit the floor pretty hard, so just say he weren't knocked out. He weren't out cold, but he was pretty damaged.
Yeah, that was the one thing. He did hit the deck quite sharp, but after that he reminded me of Diego Costa looking around, checking if the ref sent the opponent off before he decides when to get up. Do you know what I mean? I just think with 5 minutes he had enough time to recover, but once he'd been hit with that, he decided, in my opinion, that he wasn't gonna box on. And then you think of the guy, was it Jose Uzcategui, I think you said it. He's just been disqualified for a punch a couple of seconds after the bell at most, and then he's standing there and the geezer's uncle come and fucking ginger. I mean, unbelievable scenes. The only thing,
is there any boxing films coming out soon?
There's loads. Why? Jawbone.
Yeah, No, I'm just thinking. You know, Dirrell might be, you know, wanting to star in one of them, and thought, let me do a bit of acting here, and I might get a part. I don't know, mate. I felt like it was a joke. I didn't think he was knocked out. I didn't think he was. He was probably hurt, but as I say, he could have had time to get himself back and crack on. But I just didn't think he wanted it.
You think he chose just to think, no, I don't fancy this now?
I think he chose to make the ref make a decision. I think that's what he did. I think he couldn't. I don't know if he didn't fancy it, but you know, as you say, if you feel someone's power and you think, oh, have a word, you know, you go down and you think, actually, that was after the bell. Let me have a look at the ref. Oh, he's going to disqualify it. I'll stay down.
What round?
You know, I think.
What round was it? What was it? The 7th?
7th, yeah.
Yeah, 7th round. I mean, listen, you think of someone like Bernard Hopkins, one of the greatest to ever put on a pair of gloves. I remember him doing something similar, where he feigned it and he made it go on for too long, and then they called it. I think they called it it was either a no contest and it backfired on him. Was that Chad Dawson? I think off the top of my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people have done it, man. People have done it, but. There's also
even the greats have done it. You know what I mean?
There's also people condoning this. Do you know that? I've seen a couple of people saying, "You fuck with my family, I would have done the same." Well, you didn't fuck with your family.
Yeah, listen, that's not about that. That's bollocks. It's not about that. It's a sport. At the end of the day, people get it confused because they are fighting. At the end of the day, it'd be like a football match. The whistle goes and someone scores a goal, and the ref counting it. It's the same thing. You can't go in there and start punching people in the face over it. He got hit after the bell. I'm going to have my mum jump in the ring because I punched someone in the face. Or come on, punch me. My mum jumped in and started hitting him with a bag.
Well, it happened last night, didn't it? In the Pickford and Morgan fight, didn't it? They threw about 4 or 5 punches after the bell each, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they both got a point off in the next round.
Oh, that was bizarre. That was bizarre.
You didn't see their trainers running in and
exactly,
right and left, did you? You know,
I see one a few weeks ago.
It's part and parcel.
They did it. They ended up getting, it was John Brennan and Sonny Whiting. One of them hit the other one after the bell. The next round, the other one responded. And then, like the 3rd round or something, they both just teed off on each other after the bell. And then the ref ended up, he no contest to fight. It was just a no contest. But no one, apart from some drunks in the crowd, obviously getting a bit funny because they had that done. Like, no one got punched in the face. It's just bang out of order, isn't it? Really, it's just. I know it's a fight, but it is just a sport.
It's part and parcel, and it's the protect yourself at all time, isn't it?
That's exactly when I very first see it, and someone told me, I thought, well, to be fair, protect yourself at all times. You know, you can hold your hand up for about 3 or 4 seconds, let him get out of range before you drop him. You know.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
It brought back memories for me. Do you remember that? What was his name? James Butler, and he knocked out Richard Grant after the bell.
Yeah.
I think
I remember that.
Broke his jaw and lacerated his tongue and stuff after he got beat. He got done with aggravated assault. So yeah, I think he has to have charges. At the end of the day, there were 2 sanctioned fighters having a match of sport. Take away the fact it's boxing where they're punching each other. It's a sporting event. 2 sanctioned men competing in it. So no one else has the right to get in and fucking get involved. And I think they should throw the book at him. I really do.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Last.
Another rematch.
See, if I'm that geezer, I don't want to go anywhere near him.
Take his uncle in.
Yeah, if I'm the geezer, Jose, I don't want to go anywhere near him or his family. I think they're just like, I wouldn't want anything to do with them.
Don't deserve a rematch.
Last thing I want to touch on is the Brook Spence card next weekend. Lawrence Okoli's been added to it, and Joe Cordina. Dave the White Rhino Allen fighting for the Commonwealth title against Leroy Thomas. And what do you think of that fight, Kev? What do you think? It's difficult, isn't it? Because we don't know enough about the geezer he's fighting.
Yeah, we don't know enough about him, but one thing I will say, and I know Dave is a big friend of the show and a big friend of the podcast, but mate, how amazing is he looking? You know, I know he's posting pictures and he's tensing and all this, but, you know, and he keeps calling himself the fat lad, but, yeah, mate, he looks like he's taking this seriously, and his last couple of fights, all right, haven't been. Well, his last fight is, with David Howe, wasn't it? But he looked good in that. He looks good. I've seen a few sparring sessions with him. He looks powerful, and he looks like he's on it. And I don't know too much about his opponent, if I'm honest with you. But I think if he boxes as good as he looks, I think he could Thomas could be in trouble, definitely.
Richie, you a fan of Dave Allen?
I don't think I've seen much of him, to be totally honest with you.
No. Do you think the thing you got to say with Dave, he's, profile wise, he's a guy that was fighting in small halls up in Doncaster and the Dome and stuff, and say what you want about him, but the man has made a following, and he's grown and built a profile, and I think you can't do anything but take your hat off to him for that. He's always talking to people on Twitter and his fans, and he's always interacting, and he's a funny guy, he's likeable, so people are interested in him, and this is a big opportunity for him.
I think because of his personality, you want him to be successful, don't you? I think he's one of them sort of Frank Bruno sort of characters that you just want him. I think if he wins this and then moves on again, I think he's a fan's favourite. I think everyone likes Dave Allen. I think he's got a good following, as you said, and I think everyone wants him to do well. And I wish him all the best, and I'll be watching and cheering him on, definitely.
Yeah, as we all will.
I've just had a little look at him, and he's knocking people out as well. And if he's, like you say, he's got the personality to go with it, he'll go far, won't he? Because I think after battle sometimes he's getting a following, and he's knocking people out as well. He's only lost to names. He's lost to 2 names, so I can't really say he's not doing well, can you?
That's it. The only again, it'd be the unknown factor of Thomas coming over here as a southpaw, but Dave enjoys fighting southpaws, so it's just whatever this geezer can bring that we don't know about. So that's the only thing that we're not going to be sure about until the night of this guy, exactly how good he is. But
what's his name? The guy's fighting?
Lenroy Thomas.
Yeah,
he's the one I thought is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it, man. It's a good fight, Commonwealth title fight, but Dave wants the British title, and this will make him basically mandatory now, which is a shame because the board mandated Cornish against Sexton, and since then Cornish, which one of them? One of them got injured. Who's it? Sexton got injured.
Sexton's injured again, yeah.
Sexton's injured again.
Yeah, but listen, I think Dave beats both of them quite comfortably, honestly, and I think he keeps getting overlooked for it, doesn't he, a little bit? But yeah, no, for me, I think he beats both of them, and I think he beats them both quite comfortably as well. So I think now that Sexton's out, I think if he wins, I think him Cornish, I think it's quite an easy route for Dave to get both titles, definitely.
British and Commonwealth champion White Rhino 2017.
100%.
George Groves, his 4th world title fight attempt. WBA super title. Fedor Chudanov. I love this. Chudanov. He's fighting Chudanov on Saturday. Yeah.
So me and you are massive George Groves fans. We have been for years, and he's gone the hard route, and he's gone against Carl Froch, Badu Jack. I think this is, if he doesn't do it now, I think it's time to hang up your gloves. He's probably the weaker of the champions, and as I say, if George can't do it now, I think it's game over for him. But I don't want George to be the guy who's fighting for the British title or the Euro Commonwealth or European title at this stage of his career. This is his last chance, and he's one talented geezer. He's got power. They say he's got the best jab in the business and all this stuff, but it's now put up or shut up. It really is. It's time for him to do it. And again, I think he will. I'm confident he will. I'm putting money on him this time. I'm sure he's going to win it this time. But I did say that last time and the time before. So,
and the time before.
I think he's class as well. He's class.
Yeah.
He's got it all. He just fell short, and he's just like. Martin Murray the same though. He beat Martin Morrissey on his fight. He's the same. He just fell shy every single time. Just shy every single time. Just not quite there. George should beat this guy, though. I'll just have a look at him. I think probably
I think with Martin Murray, though, Martin Murray fought proper champions, didn't he? And I think that's George's problem. I think he's fought guys that at that time of his career, they were probably just above him. But now he's fighting someone on his level. And it's time for him to, as I say, I think he's the weaker of the champions, and it's time for George to prove everyone right, and all his fans, prove everyone right that why they're backing him for so long. Definitely.
It'd be nice to see him win it. It'd be nice to have another British champion and another British world champion as well.
Yeah.
And it builds up another Dirrell fight.
He's unlucky though. He has been unlucky with the opponents he's had. He has took some tough opponents on his journey, and for his titles that he's had. Carl fought twice in the first one. I thought he was pretty unlucky. I don't know. I felt at the time it was a bit of an early stoppage.
I still swear to this day it was an early stoppage. I was up there.
Yeah, the rematch was a completely different fight, but the first one, I think he knew what he wanted to do. He had a game plan what he wanted to do. He turned up, did it, all down perfectly well, and I think even in his own mind, he was probably thinking, "Fuck, this is happening. It's happening. It was just happening. It was all so perfect, and then taken away from him. He was starting to fade, and Carl Froch was coming back, but it was a brilliant night for George Groves up till that point."
How many times have we seen it though, when the first fight, that's your best chance, and then the second fight, it's just a completely different fight. When you're that unknown guy, it's and you get thrown in there. That's your chance, and sometimes you take it, and other times you think, and have a rematch, and it's completely different. But listen, the stoppage on the night and the day after, and the day after that, I thought ridiculous decision. But then I watched it a few times after, and he was out. I think he was out on his feet, and I think the reason why he got a rematch was because there was a bit of uncertainty. But I think if it would have gone a couple more minutes or the next round, I think it would have been over anyway, because I think Carl Froch was just coming on like an animal. And George was fading, and I think when George fades, I think the problem I see with George is his defence goes. And his hands ain't high, his reflexes are not great, his head movement is, his whole body just seems to slump, and I think that's the problem. And I think when he got hit, because of fatigue or whatever else, because he was fading, his body was slumping and falling all over the place, probably not because of shocks or because of what he was taking, but because he was tired. And I think George does go floppy, and I don't know why he does that, but this, as I say, this is his best chance. Forget about what's happened previously, George, if you're listening.
I bet he is.
Just win it for us all, mate, please. We're all after, we're all behind you, mate. Just win it. That's it. Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure the Saints sitting here listening to this thinking, he tunes in every couple of weeks, and he's been waiting for us to talk about this fight. So I'm pretty sure he's. Nah, he's a guy we followed. Listen, I remember him getting knocked over a couple of times by Kenny Anderson. Do you remember? Years and years ago, and I thought, shit, maybe his chin was debatable and this and that. But I'm a big fan. Best jab in the game for me, and I really hope he comes up and does the business this time. I really do. Main event. Kell Brook, Errol Spence Jr. What do you know about Errol Spence, Rich? You've seen a lot of him.
I've seen bits and bobs, not much. Obviously, more since the Kell Brook fight come up, I've seen a bit more of him. But I think Kell Brook. I still think Kell Brook's going to box Amir Khan. To be honest, for me, that's the fight still. Although Khan hasn't been doing much nowadays, but as much as he was. But for me, I'm still more interested in watching him fight Khan than anyone else. But Errol Spence is class. I've seen bits of him, but he is class. But for me, I'm just not as interested in that fight as I would have been the Khan fight, to be honest with you.
Kev, have you seen a lot of Errol Spence?
Yeah, listen, I'm shitting myself, if I'm honest. I've just got another Gervonta Davis coming. I don't know. He just looks absolutely class. And we all know what Kell Brook can do, but moving up in weight and then coming back down, and Sam, you've said it before. You saw Brook in person, and he was massive.
Yeah, he was
absolutely massive. So, you know, what worries me is if he was as big as you say he was, as in muscly. I'm not talking about him being a fat lad or anything like that.
No, he had a belly. No, he had a belly, mate. When we saw him in Feb, we saw him at the Eubank show, the ITV show, and he had a belly on him, like no doubt about
Kel
it.
Brook, you know about Kel Brook did?
Yeah, Kel Brook.
And you know, he's just a big. Yeah, he went up in weight. You know, he fought Golovkin, and then having to come down. I wanted him to have one fight before he went in against a guy like Dirrell Spence, just to see what, you know, how much it had taken its toll on him. But for him to jump straight in, obviously he's confident. We all know he's confident. He believes in his ability, and fair play to him. It just worries me, mate. It just worries me because he's coming in. After that, you know, he's been hurt, he's been stopped, and then he's fighting someone of this calibre. It does worry me, but again, I'll be behind Brook, and I wish him all the best. Definitely, I hope he can do it.
He's looking in great shape. So he's definitely someone who's got himself in. I think he made the check weight quite easily as well. So 147 might not be as much of a problem as I thought it would be initially. Once he'd gone up and I'd seen him after the fight, and saw him beginning of this year, and he looked quite. There was a lot of weight on him. So he's done well. He's obviously doing the right things. He's out in Fortaventura training. Looks in ridiculously shredded shape. So as long as he's done the weight right, and I think it could be a 12-round, really good 12-round fight. I think it could go back and forth, but I think Kel's got enough to get the job done. I think he's quality. I really do. Prediction for that one, Richie? You got Kel Brook or Spence?
I think Spence is actually a classier boxer, if I'm honest with you. I don't think Kel Brook's good. I just don't rate him as much as I think other people rate him. I don't think his boxers are much of a high level as some of the other boys in his division.
Yeah, the Jojo Dan and Frankie Gavin and Bizier fights didn't do a lot for his reputation, that's for sure.
Yeah, but things like that, exactly, things like that. I mean, I know I said it earlier, but comparing him to Amir Khan's boxed animals. He's boxed animals. He's boxed ridiculous people, and I know like Kel Brook went and boxed Golovkin, and you could turn around and say he boxed Golovkin, but for me that was a money. He just did it for a few quid. He was never ever gonna. It didn't have a kicking chance in that fight.
Yeah, no, it's a good fight on paper. Another pay-per-view Saturday. Do you buy the pay-per-views or do you watch the highlights the next day, Rich?
Say it again, mate.
Do you buy the pay-per-views or do you watch them the next day?
No, I do buy the pay-per-views sometimes. Yeah, if there's paper on there I want to see, I will buy them.
Kevin,
I like watching them live as well. I think it's better.
Yeah, it
better
is.
When you get the atmosphere that you feel. I don't know too many friends that are into boxing, so I always get a message or an update somewhere from somewhere, so I can turn my phone off or watch it live. I end up knowing all the results before I get to watch it otherwise. So I like staying up. It's always a nice event,
Yeah, no, definitely. It should be a really good card. So I look forward to it. Well, listen, we've been on here for over an hour now. I just want to. Obviously, I want to thank a couple of people that have took T-shirts off me. Big up Rob Cass, Sean Ells took T-shirts off me. Loads of fighters. Adrian Martin, yourself, Richie, obviously. And everyone who's still supporting, the podcast and the interviews and that, and the website, and they respect what we're trying to do and help build fighters from the small hall upwards. So thanks to a lot of people who get involved, and I really appreciate the support. Obviously, a big shout out to the New Age Boxing Podcast, the best boxing podcast out there by a million miles, no doubt about it. We're good, but we ain't as good as those boys. Perfect blend of humour and knowledge, so big up to those boys. If you haven't listened, you need to. They're the best at what they do, bar none, and they're absolute gentlemen as well. Portobello PR, always helping out young fighters. Get onto them. There's just some really good people around boxing you need to get involved with. So thanks a lot for listening. This has been the Fight Talk Podcast.